Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anything New York. And for today's video, I wanted to sit down and interview my friend Chimpino, who's a fellow creator with photos and videos, and moved here from the Dominican Republic when he was, how old were you?
I was 4 turning 5.
4 turning 5. So kind of going over the process of why he moved here and getting citizenship, which you're still working on today. So let's get into it. Alright, so Chimpino, where are you from originally?
So I was born in Santiago, Dominican Republic, November 20th, 1998. And yeah, it's a small city outside of the capital, Dominican Republic. Pretty awesome city.
Awesome. And why did your family move from Dominican Republic to New York City?
Sure. So, well, you know, it's a third world country, so it's, you know, the economy's not too great, the government's not too great, the opportunities are not too great, educational system, and you know, when my mom got the opportunity to come to the United States, it was almost like a no-brainer. Obviously, she was a little scared, but she just had a feeling that, you know, having her kids grow up here, learning the language, we'd just be open to a lot more opportunities than if we were to just grow up in the Dominican Republic.
So to like try and live the American dream?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, the American dream growing up was almost like a myth, like a legend thing. Like, it's something that you, like, once you, like, yeah, when you hear it, it's like this magical thing. And that was really like the biggest thing. Like, come to the United States, work hard, get a house, get married, you know, it's like, it's a thing that if you talk about in the Dominican Republic to anybody, they'll like light up, you know.
How did your mom get to move here? Did she win the lottery? Did she marry someone? Or?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to get to the United States. You could, win the lottery and do the green card process, or which is a more popular one, people just get married to people either with citizenship or green card, anything ideally to make the process easier. But so my mom and my dad was already established further down the process, so he already had family here, he already had his green card. So when they got married, it made the process for her a lot easier. So she was able to come to the United States, and then from there she was just focusing on, like, you know, getting a job, getting some stuff together, and then also focusing on getting us here too, because that's also another process.
And are you glad that your family did move from Dominican Republic to here? Or do you wish that you were back in DR?
Yeah. So I'm definitely grateful for the Dominican Republic. It's a beautiful place. I love my family there. I love the location. It's, you know, it's my home, you know, but when it comes to the man I've become, what I know, the things that I think identify me, I couldn't live without them, and they're all things that come from New York City. You know, the people, the culture, just the environment, the energy, the ambition, all that is something that I credit to New York City. So when it comes to, you know, what I, you know, wish to stay in Dominican Republic, I would definitely choose this lifetime over any.
Yeah, and I know that you once told me that, you know, you'll go back to the Dominican Republic and look at your cousins who are a similar age to you, and you try and put yourself in their shoes as if you could have been them.
Definitely, yeah.
Wait, hold on, let's wait for... Don't mind the
New York City noise.
Yeah. So when you go back to DR and you are looking at your cousins who are your age, are they just like, so not jealous, but do they just like look at you and like, wow, like you're living the dream?
Yeah. So when I do that, it's because, you know, I try to practice as much gratitude as possible, and I also try to put myself in the shoes of like how my life could have been if I grew up in the Dominican Republic. And when I look at my cousins, what I notice is that they have this sense of like practicality that isn't really practical. They have this sense of like, you know, certain things are possible, you know, whereas like in New York and America, anything is possible. Like anything you put your mind to and you work hard at is possible. But I noticed that when I go back and I talk to them about certain things, their priorities are very different. Their priorities are getting a car, getting a house. It's similar to here, but it's almost like they're just trying to be realistic. And it's something that I definitely struggled with my mom. I had to kind of break her out of that as well, because, you know, me being ambitious and a freelancer and stuff like that, it's definitely not like practical. You know, you don't want to, you come from all these third world countries and you're an immigrant and your kid tells you he wants to make videos. It's not very practical or safe. But yeah, they're they're very safe when it comes to those things, and I try to put myself in their shoes, and it's definitely very interesting.
And so where are you at right now on this whole process? Are you a U.S. citizen? Do you have a passport now, or?
Yeah, so when it came to this U.S. citizenship process, I was in the green card state for a very long time. I was, a lot of people even think about staying there too. I had a teacher in high school that he had his green card and he preferred it that way. He didn't want to get the U.S. citizenship, and there can be some benefits to that too. When you're a green card resident and versus U.S. citizenship, you don't have to sign up for the draft. You technically are permanent residents. You can stay here, but the only downfalls and the reason why I really wanted to get the U.S. citizenship status is for the U.S. passport.
The U.S. passport, yeah. That thing is like gold.
Yeah, it's
go to Europe, no problem.
Yeah,
go to Asia.
It opens up the world definitely. So, I had been always a green card resident for most of my life, and then when I got into the freelance and creative space, I was like, you know what? I should probably, for the sake of my career and the future that I see for myself, get my U.S. citizenship. So you apply, a couple $100. You wait a couple months, you take a test, and then if you pass the test, you take the oath. And so I went to my citizenship ceremony in November 21st, a day after my 21st birthday, and I became a citizen. Yeah.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, man. It's definitely exciting stuff. It's things that you don't really think about, like being American, being a U.S. citizen. You don't really think about it until you're sitting in that court and you're sitting among other immigrants, and now you finally get to call that flag yours. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so do you think for maybe all the other people that are watching this in other countries who aspire to one day move to America and have to go through the same process you had to for the past couple of years, do you think it's worth it, and do you encourage others to do that?
Definitely, man. I mean, so when it comes to taking that leap forward, and that's what you should consider. It's definitely a leap forward. For me, for a very long time, I feel like I was stuck in a very ignorant mindset where it's like, oh, I don't need to be in these other places. New York is fun, or just wherever you are is fun. You don't need to travel. But there's nothing wrong with more opportunity, and that's really all it is. You have to really set yourself up for as much opportunity as possible. One quote that I like to live by is, luck is where opportunity meets preparation. And so the more opportunity you open up yourself for, that's just, more adventures, more trips, more possibilities, more friends, more stories, more adventures. So I think the process can seem tedious, but it's definitely worth it. Man, I'm so grateful that I finally, pushed myself after. I should have done it a long time ago, for sure, but I'm definitely glad that the path that I was on took me down this road, because man, I'm just so grateful every single day about being a U.S. citizenship. I take it with so much pride, and I would recommend it to everybody.
Amazing, man. Well, I'm glad that you're one of us now.
Yeah, man. I'm part of the team. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Chimpino also does Instagram and makes YouTube videos almost every day.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a content beast.
American dream.
So go check out his channel down below. Show him some love. Good friend of mine, Chimpino. Thanks.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Channel.
Dude, awesome. That was fun, man.